Hey everyone, Rasky here. I know it's been a while since I've done a video and I apologize for that, but I think you guys can be really stoked to see what I have to show here today. Griots Garage has actually released two new tools. They're large throw DA machines. They're going to have the 21mm offset and the 15mm offset. These are going to kind of target the Rupes machines as well as the Chinese knockoffs that have come out in the last year or so. I am going to have a full review on the Detail Image Ask Pro blog. We'll have more photos, kind of go in depth about the tools and the features, kind of the history behind it. But for today on the video here, I'm just going to kind of show you all the features and talk about those. Rewind to about 6 months ago, Jeff Brown from Griots Garage, I've been talking for a while. He asked me to test some stuff out and I thought he was going to be bringing some pads and polishes over. Had no idea they were looking at a tool. Didn't mention it, but he took it out of the box and I'm just like, wow, kind of blown away. I would have expected them to do like everybody else has done and just taken an off-the-shelf tool from one of the Chinese manufacturers, put their name on it, and be done with it. But Jeff Brown didn't want that, and they took inspiration from the Rupes large throw mechanism, but everything about the tool has been redesigned from the ground up. So for starters, when I got it in my hands, I'm just like, this thing feels like my Flex rotary, really solidly built. The power cord is an improvement over my Rupes machine. I don't know if I like it quite as much as my Flex rotary, but I don't really have any beefs with it either. It's not really stiff. I mean, it is what it is, it's a power cord. All the edges are nicely rounded off. It feels real comfortable in your hand. I know the Rupes machines and the other ones, they got sharp edges. Not a big deal, but it is nicer to hold when they're more rounded off. The rubber pads, you've got them on the handle, the main body, and the head. And they're not the cheap, hard plastic kind of rubber. It's nice, soft, comfortable to hold type of rubber. The handle itself is like a pistol grip. It fits your hand, at least my hand, perfectly. From there you've got the trigger, which is instant on, no slow start, and it's also variable speed, so it's a lot like a rotary. You can feather the speed if you like, or you can lock in and dial the speed down. The lock, well actually everything about the tool is really ergonomic, but the lock was the first thing I noticed. When I got the trigger, I mean, it was just, you didn't have to think about it, it just locked boom like that. When I first got my Rupes tool, as well as some others I saw posting online, the locking was kind of goofy. They've got a protruded cylinder around the lock, which made it kind of hard to put on. This one, it's just boom. Onto the speed dial. The speed dial, again on the Rupes machine, there's not a lot of resistance, there's no sound, it just basically moves with very little effort, and I find that when I'm working in between panels, I'll set the tool down, pick it up. Occasionally I'll bump the speed, not a big deal, I hear it usually just by the sound, and I'll adjust. And don't get me wrong, I love my Rupes tools. I've been using them for over 2 years and they've served me very well. But this is a big step up for me. You've got a solid click and feel. You can hear the audible click, hopefully the camera picks it up. Basically half steps in speed, so it starts at 1, goes up to 6, so you got 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and so on. But there's no mistaking when you get the speed that you want, and it's very hard to bump it out of a speed as well. So that's very welcome. Brushes, easy access brushes. There's a little flathead screwdriver, quick turn, you're out. So you guys that do high volume, run machines daily in and out, you'll like that. Main body grip, like I said, it's got the nice rubber. It's actually indented for your fingers. So working on those vertical panels, get in there. It's kind of sometimes nice to hold here and just kind of switch it up between the pistol grip and there. So I really like that. Onto the head, or platypus head as Jeff calls it. I guess that's kind of look like platypus, but again, nice soft rubber, good feel to it. The counterbalance, unlike the Chinese tools, all the Chinese tools I've looked at have used a cast aluminum. The counterbalance looks exactly like the Rupes, but it's cast. Okay, cast aluminum is usually about 1/3 of the weight of steel. Griots took machine steel and balanced the counterbalances, so they definitely focused on balancing the machine, make sure it's nice and smooth. The weight of the machine, I've never actually weighed them with Rupes. I would say it's a hair heavier than the Rupes, but again, the solid feel is probably the reason for that. I know they use really high buck bearings. I can't remember the brand of the bearings throughout, but all the Chinese tools that I've looked at have the cheap bearings that wear out. These are definitely, you can tell the bean counter stayed out of it, and no expensive saved. I mean, they definitely went to town on it. I've seen the internals of this machine versus a lot of the Chinese tools and even the Roops ones, and I'll post that in my review. You can kind of see all the electronics inside, how they compare. It's definitely more powerful. It's a 900 watt motor, 7.5 amp I think. The washer, the old Kevin Brown washer that comes with the Roops, Roops is going to actually, or Griots is actually going to ship it with the tool, so if you're afraid of having the washer in there, you don't have to put it in. For me, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's like driving around a car with the e-brake on. I know the shroud, there's a design purpose to a shroud, but I like the free spinning backing plate, mainly for blowing my pads out. Otherwise, if you're trying to blow out the air and there's that resistance of the shroud, it's just not going to spin well. And again, you're robbing power from the machine. The shroud serves a purpose, but for me, the washer's a no-brainer. So that's pretty much it for the tool. Like I said, both the bodies are identical on the two machines. It's just the mechanism for the counterbalance is going to be larger, and the backing plates are interchangeable. They do have the cross drilled backing plate with little air vents, and they do actually help. I kind of questioned it at first, but I think the angle and the way they are in there, they definitely add some airflow to it. So hopefully your pads will run a little bit cooler. I'm going to grab the camera here and show you the actual packaging. These are all the test meals here that I've had for the last 6 months, but I actually have the actual tools Jeff let me borrow real quick here for my video. But I'll zoom in and let you check those out real quick. Okay, so here's a look at our final packaging, or our production packaging. As you can see, the packaging is actually really nice, nicer than I think any tool I've gotten so far. Has a nice little high-res sleeve over the top of it here. Nice image of the tool, Boss, which is best to show system, and it is a system. You got a silhouette of the tool showing a side profile, and then likewise on the top you get a top profile silhouette, and on the back as well. Again, the high-res image on the sleeve shows the tool, polishes the pads, and kind of talks about performance and some details about the tool. But nice packaging overall. I think you guys will be impressed. Upon opening it up, obviously you're going to have your tool. You have your manual as well. And in the manual here, it shows some optional accessories. One is the D handle as well as the side handle. I've had them since I got the test mule. I think I put them on once just because Jeff made me try them out, even though I told him I don't want them. But not a fan of handles. I like having my hand placed directly over the machine. It can get into tighter spaces without the handles protruding out, so it just makes sense to me. But some people like them, so if you like it, go ahead and order them. It also comes with a little pouch here, or polisher purse. I don't know. Got an Allen wrench in there, some replacement brushes, the washer, and some silicone grease for the backing plate. This is actually really cool. A little insert they're going to give you. Shows the tool, polishes the pads, but then you open it up, and it really goes into detail as far as which pad should be used with which polish. Talks about aggressiveness and how you should work them. So I think that's kind of thoughtful. It's I don't think I've seen something come with that as far as tools anyway. So I think you'll like that. This is actually my first time seeing the production tool, and I'll show you that compared to my test mule. So the test mill here, there's no text on there, it doesn't have any labels on it yet, it doesn't have the side plugs. And you can see this one here. You got the Boss. You got your agency labels. Plugs here, if you don't have the handles on, it's nice to have them closed off. Jeff did mention that he changed or they improved the speed dial even further. I think they get a little bit more top end out of it now, which is good. And then looking at the power cord, they actually improved that. When I had my test mule, I think it's fine, but I thought it could be improved, and it looks like they actually did change that, so that's pretty awesome. I didn't mention the volume of the tool, the sound versus the Rupes. The Rupes tends to be a higher pitch, where these are a lower range of the frequency, kind of like I compared like a high-strung 4-cylinder for the Rupes versus a V8 with the cool exhaust on here. They sound cool. Overall, I think they may be a tad higher. I've never actually measured them, but you should be wearing earplugs anyway, so who cares? Other than that, can't think of anything else. If I do, I'll add it on my full review, so definitely check that out on the Detailed Image Esque Pro blog. I'll also have another video review for the pads and polishes, so be sure to check that out as well. Oh, should you buy it? Definitely. This is definitely the new dog on the block. I love my Rupes. They served me well again for well over 2 years. But these they have more power, they're more ergonomic, everything about them is better. So if you're in the market for a new DA, definitely recommend it. If you've already got a Rupes, your Rupes is going to serve you just fine. It'll do the same thing. This is just going to be more comfortable, a little bit more power as far as the curves. If you got a Rupes now and you're struggling with it stalling, I never really have that issue. I've been using them for over 2 years, and I've used them on pretty much every car. But these will have a little bit more power to get through those curves, but if you try to stall it, it will stall. But it basically comes down to technique. I've been using them for 6 months straight, and I don't have any issues. So that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching my video. If you guys got any questions, just be sure to ask. Thanks.